Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. I'm Rick Olson, and tonight we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Viking girls basketball. Tonight, the 5-3 Colfax Vikings, who are 2-1 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to jump back into conference play as they travel to Glenwood City, Wisconsin for a Dunn St. Croix battle against the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, who are 5-5 overall and 0-3 in the Dunn St. Croix. The Vikings are coming off a thrilling victory on Monday over the middle border leading St. Croix Central Panthers, 41-31, in a game that featured an outstanding example of the Vikings' in-your-face defense. Meanwhile, the Hilltoppers are trying to keep on the winning side and secure their first conference win this season following their 70-29 non-conference win over the Lake Holcomb Chieftains. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Hilltoppers and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Sarar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll take a quick look around the Dunn St. Croix Conference to see where things stand as the conference resumes conference play following the holidays. And following all that, we'll send it out to Glenwood City High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play to action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls Dunn St. Croix Conference basketball game between the 0-3 Glenwood City Hilltoppers and the 2-1 Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a 41-31 win over the St. Croix Central Panthers on Monday, while the Hilltoppers defeated the Lake Holcomb Chieftains 70-29 also on Monday. Now, in that victory over St. Croix Central, the Vikings fell behind by as much as 10 points, but relied on their tough physical defense until their shots started to fall. They held the Panthers scoreless for the final 7+ minutes of the game, while the Vikings came storming back to tie the game with 5:20 remaining and then pulling away to the 10-point win. The Vikings were able to play their hardcore in-your-face defense without fouling and never allowed St. Croix Central to set foot on the free throw line. Now, leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was senior Kason Goodell, who, in addition to her 5 steals on the night, hit on 7 of 16 attempts from the floor, including a three-pointer, as well as hitting on 4 of 8 attempts from the charity stripe for 19 points.
To Clinkhammer. And the ball gets stolen by Goodell. She brings it down the floor, stops, puts it up, and puts it in. That one went around. I think that was a John Glenn shot. I think it made 3 orbits before it went down.
She was followed by junior Sierra Shipman, who hit on 2 field goals, including a three-pointer, and 2 free throws for 7 points.
Shipman with it. Feeds it over to Goodell on the right side. To Shipman on the left, puts up the 3. She hit the 3!
Junior Bryn Sikora led the way rebounding for the Vikings with 8 boards, while Clara Hajdukovic and Goodell followed with 7 and 6, respectively. Tonight, the Vikings are getting back to conference play as they take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers are still looking for their first conference win of the season. Now, last season, the Vikings dominated the Hilltoppers by scores of 71-21 and 67-11. This season, the Hilltoppers have found ways to win most of their non-conference games and hope to transfer the ability to their conference games. So far this season, they're averaging 46 points per game while giving up 44. Leading the way in scoring for the Hilltoppers is sophomore forward Tori Oman, who's shooting 38% from the floor, including 30% from three-point land while averaging nearly 10 points per game. She's followed by junior guard Annika Eliasson and senior forward Isabel Davis, who contribute over 9 and nearly 8 points, respectively. Davis leads the Hilltoppers in rebounding, averaging 10 per game, followed by Oman, who's averaging 7. Now, the Vikings so far this season are being led in scoring by junior Jordan Bovey, who's shooting 54% from the floor as well as 62% from the free throw line while averaging nearly 15 points per game. She's being followed by senior Kason Goodell and Sierra Shipman, who are averaging nearly 13 and over 9 points per game, respectively. On the boards, junior Bryn Sikora is leading the way, pulling down 6.5 rebounds per game, followed by Goodell and Shipman, who are grabbing around 6 per game each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, in just a few minutes, the Vikings will be getting back into Dun St. Croix conference play as they take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. But before we get to that game, on Monday, the Vikings, in one of the finest examples of in-your-face defense that I can recall in quite a while, they defeated the middle border leading St. Croix Central Panthers 41-31. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, like you said, our defense was really good, all game. They only scored, 17 in the first half and 14 in the second half. And in the second half, they didn't score with, I think, almost 8 minutes to go. They never scored again. So, anytime you can, give long droughts of no points, you're going to give yourself a chance. We struggled offensively, early on, but the nice thing and, great thing about my kids is they just don't give up. They just will, keep battling. Their defensive intensity never wavered, even though, they were struggling offensively. So I was just proud to coach them, and, you can't count us out at any time.
The Vikings and the Panthers, they did battle back and forth throughout much of the game, and then the Vikings did fall behind by as much as 10 points in the second half. But it seemed as though the Vikings at that point doubled down on their defensive play and just played harder and harder on defense until the shots started to fall, and they staged a pretty impressive comeback. Talk about what goes into that never die attitude that the Vikings demonstrate.
I think it's just they know it's an expectation. So you just never know. Basketball is a game of runs. It literally in 2 minutes things can change drastically. So you just have to weather the storm sometimes, and just stick together. And they really, I think they trust each other. They believe in each other. They know that each person is going to do their own individual job while also helping out the team. So it's good to see. It's, fun basketball that, you get to watch, and I'm just proud of, that they do that. It's hard, a lot of kids, especially if you're struggling offensively, it's hard to continue with, intensity on the defensive end.
Part of what was so impressive in that game is something you just mentioned a few minutes ago, is that the Vikings held the Panthers scoreless for the final 7+ minutes while playing the aforementioned tough defense and committed only 4 fouls for the entire game. That seems almost impossible. How can you pull off that feat?
I always preach, defend without fouling, be in the right spots. They, like I said, they trust the system. They understand, if you do it right, it works. And that's what it takes. So, I think, we matched up well, and, early on they were able to get some looks on the inside, with their big girl, and we adjusted. Clara and Bryn did an awesome job on their inside kids. We were able to rebound, which is great. So, holding them to one shot and then trying to go back on offense, what wears you down is when you play great defense and then you don't get the rebound and then you have to do it all over again. So I really try to tell them, great defense, one tough shot, and then grab the rebound so then we can be on offense.
Yeah, and those one and dones, if you can hold the other team to one and dones, not only do you not wear yourself down, but you end up wearing them down because all of a sudden they have to get back on defense and they have to play the tough defense.
Yeah, for sure. And I think
and they did.
We have a lot of we have a lot of
give St. Croix Central some credit there. They played pretty tough D against the Vikings, but your girls persevered and made it work.
Yeah, I think they're just tired at the end. We have a lot of kids, playing a ton of minutes. So they're, they're used to playing the whole game and they understand, and they just don't get tired. So it was good to see, that we were able to come out on top, again with another close one.
Well, tonight the Vikings are going to be taking on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers as they head back into conference play. The Hilltoppers, in spite of their record, have shown with their non-conference play that they're capable of winning games, and they'd really like to pick up their first conference win tonight. What can you tell us about the challenges that the Hilltoppers present?
They have a good inside presence with, Izzy Davis and Tori Ullman. So, again, Clara and Bryn and, if Sierra or Layla spend some time on them, are just going to have, that good communication, making sure that we're boxing out. You can't just let them turn to the baseline and score. We also have to have, help from our guards. We have to be able to dig it out. We can't let them take, multiple dribbles in there and have good closeouts if they kick it out to shooters. So I like some of the stuff that they run with their high-low. So we'll just have to make sure that we, communicate with each other and, don't let them get easy looks.
Well, Coach Sarrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can get back into conference play with a win and keep pace with the leaders.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Dunn St. Croix Conference gets back to conference play tonight with a full slate of games. So taking a look at the results from non-conference play involving DSC teams. Back on Saturday, the Durand, Arkansas Panthers defeated the Onalaska Luther Knights 50-44. And it was the Alma Pepin Eagles over the Boyceville Bulldogs 56-50. Then on Monday, the Vikings came back to defeat the St. Croix Central Panthers 41-31, while the Glenwood City Hilltoppers topped the Lake Holcomb Chieftains 70-29. And it was the Osseo Fairchild Thunder picking up their first win of the season by defeating the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 49-46. Now, the Elk Mound Mounders were dealt their first loss of the season by the Baldwin-Woodville Blackhawks 38-35. Then on the 7th, the Cadott Hornets traveled to Mondovi to face the Mondovi Buffaloes, with the Buffaloes coming out on top 63-47. So as the Dunn St. Croix Conference prepares to get back into conference play tonight, the conference standings are as follows. In first place are the Elk Mound Mounders, who are 4-0. In second place, we find the Mondovi Buffaloes at 3-0 and just a half a game out of first. In a tie for third place are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers with the Colfax Vikings. Both teams are at 2-1 and 1.5 games out of first. At 1-2 and in fifth place are the Boyceville Bulldogs. The Spring Valley Cardinals at 1-3 are 3 games back in sixth place, and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, along with the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, are tied for seventh at 0-3, 3.5 games off the pace. Tonight, the Dunn St. Croix Conference resumes play with a full slate of games. In addition to the Vikings traveling to Glenwood City to face the Hilltoppers, we find the Mondovi Buffaloes hosting the Boyceville Bulldogs, while the Elk Mound Mounders are journeying to Plum City to face the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, and the Durand, Arkansas Panthers play host to the Spring Valley Cardinals. Tonight, the Vikings are looking to keep pace in the Dunn St. Croix Conference race. This would be a good opportunity for the Vikings to continue to develop their tough defensive play, as well as building on their shooting prowess. The Hilltoppers are looking to pick up their first conference win and hope to build on the play they've demonstrated in their non-conference games so far this season. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to Glenwood City High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking girls basketball is on the air.
Back over to Sierra Shipman. She spins at the top of the key, takes it into the lane, lays it up and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with her first 2 points of the night.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School girls basketball.
Then over to the left side to Jordan, lays it up and puts it in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings as they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
To Goodell from three, she'd hit the three!
And now, out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
And welcome to Glenwood City High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you the Colfax Vikings taking on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. And let's send it down courtside for the introduction of today's players. Okay, they've done the starting lineups for both teams, and running through those again real quick for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Opal Volts is wearing number 4. Number 5 is Tori Ullman. Number 11, Kira Kruger. 45 is Annika Eliasson, and 52 is Isabel Davis for the Vikings. It's the usual of Goodell, Bovey, Shipman, Skora, and Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic to jump center for the Vikings against Isabel Davis for the Hilltoppers. The ball goes up, and we are underway. Ball's controlled by Volts as she comes across the timeline. They get it up between the circles to Davis. She feeds it over to the right side to Ullman. And then down in the corner, that was Kruger back out high and over to Davis on the left. They try to feed it down underneath. Ball gets tipped away, and it's out of bounds. And they say it bounced off of Sikora after Ullman got her hand on the ball, and then it went off of Sikora, and Hilltoppers will have it. They get the ball into Kruger. She feeds it out to Volts, right near the center circle. Over to Kruger on the right side. She's on the right wing, feeds it to Davis. Davis with a shot, it's good. First blood is drawn by the Hilltoppers. Goodell feeds it down to Bovey. She takes it into the lane, hands it off, and the ball goes in by Sikora. We're tied at 2. Kyra Kruger with it. She feeds it over to Davis on the right side. Then down towards the right corner to Ullman. Ullman back out to Davis. Davis's pass is tipped and intercepted. Shipman with it, feeds it to Goodell, puts it up, it rolls off. Shipman tries to put it back up, it's no good. Ball gets hauled out of there by Bovey. Over to Sikora, puts up the 3. Bryn Sikora with the 3, and the Vikings go on top 5-2. Volts feeds it over to the right to Davis, then to Ullman, back to Davis on the left side of the lane, and we're going to get a jump ball called as she was tied up by Goodell. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Long pass down the floor was intended for Shipman, but intercepted by Davis. To Kruger. Ball gets knocked away, but she chases it down, gets it back out to Davis from the left side. 3-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell. She takes it all the way down, lays it up, it doesn't go, and the rebound scrapped for on the floor. Picked up by Ullman and handed off to Kruger, who brings it down the floor for the Hilltoppers. They feed it over to the left side. Pass gets knocked away, but hauled in by Volts. Get it out to Ullman. Then over to the left side. That's Eliasson. Eliasson tries to drive to the left baseline, and it's out of bounds off of Bovey. Hilltoppers come into the game with an 0-3 record in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Vikings are 2-1. Ball comes into Davis. Davis puts a shot up from the lane, no good. Gets her own rebound, puts it back up, no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. She dribbles it out of trouble, and it goes out of bounds. Oh, we're going to get a foul called on Kyra Kruger. That's the first foul of the game. So the Vikings to inbound it. Goodell has it, comes across the timeline. Over to Shipman on the far side. Back out to the top of the key to Hajdukovic. Down underneath to Sikora, hands it off to Bovey, puts it up and in. That was a nice example of you had a shot, but Bovey had a better one, and they took advantage of it. Davis with the ball. She's high, wide, and right. Takes it up between the circles. Over to Volts. Volts out to Kruger. Kruger takes it around to the right side. Coming down the right sideline, back out to the top of the key to Davis. Then over to Eliasson. Back to Davis on the left side of the lane, and we get another jump ball called. This time the Hilltoppers have the possession arrow. Ullman to inbound. Vikings on top, 7-2. Ball comes in, battled for by Bovey, but Eliason gets it. They get it out high to Davis. Davis down the right side of the lane. Over to Oman. Oman down in the right corner. Back out high to Davis. Then to Kruger. Kruger at the top of the key. Over to Davis. Davis on the dribble to the right. To Volts. Out to Kruger. Kruger between the circles. To Davis. High, wide, and right. Cross-court pass over to Oman. She puts up a three. No. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. Goodell feeds it down to Bovey, who lays it up and in. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor by the Hilltoppers with the Vikings on top. 9-2. You're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
The teen years are a great time for your child to gain practical experience in managing finances. Perhaps he or she already has a summer job lined up. A free checking account at Derry State Bank can help teens learn to set a budget, track spending, use a debit card, make deposits, and more. Plus, parents are account co-owners and have the ability to supervise the learning process. Give us a call today. Derry State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
City High School. Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Chris Olson, bringing you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game between the Glenwood City Hilltoppers and the Colfax Vikings. Vikings on top, 9-2. Hilltoppers with the ball. Davis bringing it down the floor. We're going to get a whistle and a push-off by Sierra Shipman. So Ullman to inbound. She gets it into Brandt. That's Kaylin Brandt. Feeds it down into the corner to Davis on the right side. Back out high to Ullman. Drives to the free throw line. Gets tied up there. Picked up by Davis. Down into the corner to Eliason. Eliason with a three. No. Put back is up and that one goes in. That was by Volts. So it's 9-4. Vikings on top. Goodell on the dribble. Some pressure being put on by the Hilltoppers. But Goodell drives past him, takes it into the lane, kicks it back out, three-pointer put up, and it's good! Jordan Bovey with a three-pointer puts the Vikings on top, 12-4.
7 points for Bovey.
And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Vikings, so it will still be Glenwood City's ball. Coming into the lineup for the Vikings is Adeline Acker, giving Hajdukovic a rest. Ball comes in, they get it down low to Oman. Oman gets it out to Davis from the free throw line, puts it up, no good. Rebound, chased down by Volts. Volts back out to Davis. Cross-court pass over to Oman. Oman back out to Davis at the free throw line. Back down to Eliason on the left side. Out high to Oman, to Volts, high, wide, and right. Cross-court to Davis. Davis dribbles over to the right side, picks up her dribble, gets it over to Brandt on the right side. Ball gets knocked away out of bounds. It's going to be Hilltoppers' ball. Acker getting in there, battling with Brandt. That's 10-on-10 there.
Yeah, good defense by Colfax.
Inbounding the ball to Brandt for the Hilltoppers. She drives the baseline, puts a shot up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. Long lead pass to Jordan Bovey. She lays it up and puts it in. Jordan Bovey with the hot hand early in the game.
Yeah, good job by Sierra Shipman for the outlet.
Volts with it. Gets it to the top of the key to Davis. Davis loses her footing, and the feed again to Bovey, and she goes and lays it up, and it crawls over and in. 16-4, Vikings on top. Eliason gets it out to Volts, or check that, that's Oman. Then to Davis, back to Oman down low. She's tied up down there by Shipman. Back out to Davis, to Brandt at the top of the key. Brandt hands it off to Eliason, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Bovey. She got her hand kind of tied up in there and drew the foul.
Yeah, tight defense for the Vikings so far tonight.
Hajdukovic back into the game for the Vikings, giving Shipman a bit of a break. Kyra Flick is in for the Hilltoppers. Ball comes out to Eliason. Over to Davis on the right side. Down low. Back out to Davis. Out to Flick. Over to Davis. To Flick at the top of the key. Feeds it to Davis in the lane. Puts it up, no good, but she drew the foul going up.
The foul's on 44.
I think, no, it was just one of those fours.
Number
Fouls
4.
on Goodell. First personal 13 foul on the Vikings. Davis at the line. First shot is up. And that one's good. Isabel Davis. She's a senior. Second shot on the way. That one's no good. Rebound put back up by Flick, and it rolls off no good, out of bounds, and last touch by the Vikings. Kyra Flick to inbound the ball. Feeds it into Davis in the lane, puts it up, and that one falls through.
5 points for Isabel Davis.
16-7, Vikings up by 9. Goodell on the dribble, takes it over to the right side. She's on the right wing. Out to Goodell, or out to Bovey, three-point attempt, no good. Rebound taken down by Davis. Davis to Eliason, then over into the corner to Flick. On the right side, back out to Davis. Over to Brandt on the left side. Back to Davis on the left side of the lane. She drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Flick. Flick tries to feed it toward the lane. Ball gets saved in, and Eliason has it, gets it over to Brandt. Shots up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings, and we're going to get a foul called on Flick.
Got good box out there by Bryn Sikora.
Kyra Flick, the junior, committed the harm, and inbounding the ball to Goodell for the Vikings. That's the second team foul on the Hilltoppers. Bovey with the ball. Out to Goodell, three-pointer on the way is short, and it goes out of bounds. And we have a couple of substitutes coming in for the Hilltoppers. Kyra Kruger is back in, and Lily McGee comes into the game. McGee in for Eliason. Kruger on the dribble, gets it to Davis, still in the backcourt. Long pass up to McGee. McGee back to Kruger, over to Davis on the right side. Takes it down to the baseline, guarded there by Hajdukovic. Back out high to Flick. Over to Kruger. Kruger to McGee. McGee to Davis. To Flick. And we're going to get a kicking violation against the Vikings. Bryn Sikora stuck her foot out, and the ball went off it. So it'll be Hilltoppers' ball. And the ball comes in, a little bit overthrown, and Goodell takes it down and lays it up and in. Casey Goodell with the look what I found basket. 18-7, Vikings by 11. And the pass goes off of Flick, intercepted by the Vikings. They give it to Shipman, who puts it up and in.
Yeah, good no-look pass there by the Vikings to Sierra.
20-7, Vikings on top. Davis with it on the right side. Gets it over to Brandt and then out to Kruger. Kruger high, wide, and right. Gets the ball taken away by Goodell. Goodell coming down. She lays it up and puts it in and draws the harm. Kaysen Goodell with two more. And the foul is going to be on Kyra Flick. That's her second personal. Third team foul on the Hilltoppers. And Goodell goes to the line for the +1. Shots on the way, and in and out, no good. Rebound hauled down by Kaylin Brandt. Brandt over to Davis. Davis at the top of the key, comes over to the left side. Hands it off to Flick. Flick into the lane, she took an extra step. No, they're going to call a foul. They're going to get Hajdukovic with the block. That's her first personal, 4th team foul on the Vikings. Jordan Bovey into the lineup for the Vikings. And back in for the Hilltoppers is Tori Ullman along with Ava Maltoff. Ball comes into Ullman. She's double teamed down low, puts the shot up and it goes in spite of the double team.
First 2 points by Ullman.
22-9. Goodell feeds it out to Bovey, puts up a 3. No! Rebound tapped and it goes out of bounds and it's off the Hilltoppers. It'll be Viking ball. Bovey to inbound. Feeds it into Sikora, puts it up no good. Rebound taken down by Flick. She feeds it down the floor. That's McGee. She puts it up and puts it in.
Got good pass by number 20, Kira Flick.
Bovey with it, gets it to Goodell. Pressure being put on by the Hilltoppers, but the Vikings break it. And we're going to get a blocking foul called on Davis, I believe. He put up enough fingers that time to try and make the signal. He held up a 5 and he put up another 5 and then a 3 and then it became 2. So it was on 52, Isabel Davis. It's her first personal 4th team foul on the Hilltoppers. Ball comes into Shipman. She stops at the free throw line, puts it up and drops it. Puts it right through the hole.
4 points for Sierra Shipman.
24-11, Vikings on top. Try to feed it to Davis, cutting to the lane, and it gets intercepted by the Vikings. Sikora with it. She's on the dribble across the timeline. Feeds it over into the corner to Bovey on the right side. Feeds it underneath. Shot goes up, no good. Follow up by Hajdukovic is no good, but she drew the foul.
That's got me on Flick.
That's going to be 3 on her. Hajdukovic's shot is up and no good. Annika Eliasson it back into the lineup for the Hilltoppers as Flick takes a seat. That's 3 pretty quick fouls on Flick. Second shot by Hajdukovic is up, bounces high off the iron, no good. And we're going to get a foul on Shipman.
That'll be 2 fouls on her.
And that's the 5th foul on the Vikings. So Davis is going to inbound for the Hilltoppers. She gets it into McGee, back to Davis, and then over to Maltoff. Then down into the forecourt, and the shot goes up, no good by McGee. And we get a whistle and a jump ball being called on the rebound. It'll be Viking ball. Full court pressure being put on by the Hilltoppers. Ball comes into Goodell. Feeds it over to Bovey. Bovey takes it across the timeline, down the lane, puts it up and puts it in. Jordan Bovey with 2 more.
13 points for her.
And Maltoff brings it down across the timeline, tried to throw it to Davis. And Maltoff threw it as if Davis was going to zig, but Davis zagged. So it'll be Viking ball. Goodell with it. Right through the center circle she goes. Tries to feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic, but it was a little too hot to handle. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Hilltopper ball. Eliasson to inbound. Long pass into Davis. Then back over to McGee. McGee taking it down the left side, and it gets taken right out of her hands by Bovey. Bovey at the free throw line. Feeds it out to Goodell. Goodell puts up an 8-footer and puts it in.
6 points for Kaysen.
Maltoff across the timeline. Feeds it down into the left corner. That's Ullman. Back out high to Maltoff to Davis. Davis takes it over to the right side. Back out to Oman between the circles. Feeds it to Davis in the lane. And taking it out of her hands is Goodell. And Goodell loses her footing, and ball will go over to the Hilltoppers. She tried to put on the brakes and make a spin move, and the feet didn't cooperate. Oman to inbound. She feeds it into Eliason. And Eliason took an extra step. She switched pivot feet, and you just can't do that.
Yeah, she wanted to come across to Davis, and Davis moved away.
So Goodell has the ball for the Vikings. Feeds it across the timeline to Sikora, to Bovee in the lane. Puts a shot up and puts it in. Moltoff for the Hilltoppers. In the center circle. Now she's across the timeline. Behind the back dribble, and then lost the handle on it. Bovee had it, but it got away from her and chased down by Davis. Davis coming back up across the timeline. Hands it off to Oman. Oman tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked away by the Vikings. Sikora with it, feeds it down low, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Eliason. As Bovee was going up for the pass, Eliason made contact, and that will be foul number 6 on the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, one more, and they'll be in the bonus. Colfax will be in the bonus.
Bovee inbounds it. Gets it out to Acker. Her shot's no good, but chased out by Bovee. Then out to Sikora, to Goodell. Goodell drives on the right side of the lane, feeds it out to Hajdukovic. To Acker, then out to Bovee. Shots up no good. Rebound, Hajdukovic. She puts it up and in. Clara Hajdukovic with 2.
Her first 2 points of the night.
Volts feeds it over to Oman. Oman at the free throw line, loses the handle, and the Vikings come away. Bovee on the dribble. Feeds it over to the right side to Goodell, who drives into the lane. Feeds it out to Hajdukovic. Puts up the shot off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Hilltoppers. And this is Eliason coming down the floor. Eliason feeds it to Volts at the free throw line. We're going to get a travel call. So into the lineup for the Hilltoppers is Kaylin Brandt, and also coming back in is Kyra Kruger. Vikings to inbound with full court pressure on. Long pass to Bovee, and she lays it up and puts it in.
Bovee with 17 points.
We still have 4:20 to go in the first half. Brandt with the ball, feeds it down into the corner to Volts. Back out to Kruger, to Ullman. Ullman drives down, puts it up, and puts it in. Tori Ullman with 2 more.
She has 4 points tonight.
Sikora on the dribble, stops in the lane, puts it up no good. We get a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Kruger, Kyra Kruger. That's her 7th foul on the Hilltoppers. Bryn Sikora at the line for 2. First shot's up and good. Sikora's second shot is on the way. That's also good.
That's the first 2 free throws Vikings have made tonight.
And down the floor comes Kruger, gives it over to Ullman. Down into the right corner to Volts. Back to Eliason, feeds it underneath to Brandt, puts it up and in. Kaylin Brandt with the basket, the junior. And we have a whistle and a jump ball. Possession arrow is in favor of the Hilltoppers. So Ullman to inbound it. Looking for somewhere to go. Gets it into Eliason, back to Ullman. Thought about the shot, didn't take it. Ball gets knocked loose but recovered back by the Hilltoppers. Going up, and we're going to get a travel call on Brandt.
Yeah, good defense there by Clara Hajdukovic.
Yeah, because she wanted to go up with the shot, and all of a sudden, halfway up, she realized she didn't have it and came back down with it, and that's a travel. Goodell on the dribble. Takes it down across the timeline, feeds it down low. Shot gets partially blocked by Acker, and it goes out of bounds.
Knocked out by Clara Hajdukovic.
So Oman inbounds it to Eliason, back to Oman in the backcourt. Feeds it over to Volts on the right side. Back out high to Oman. Oman on the right. Now over to Brandt and then down low, and the ball goes out of bounds off the Vikings. 2:56 remaining in half number one. Vikings on top 36-15. Ball comes into Kruger on the right side. Free throw line extended right. Tries to feed it in the lane. Ball gets knocked loose. Chased down by Eliason. Then to Oman. Oman back to Eliason. Three-pointer on the way, and that one's good. Annika Eliason with the three.
Her first 3 points of the night.
Long feed down to Hajdukovic. Turns around, puts it up. It won't go. A rebound taken down by Kruger. 36-18. Vikings have the Hilltoppers doubled up. Volts with it. Gets it over to Kruger on the near side. Takes it up between the circles. Back over to Volts on the near side. To Brandt. Back out high to Eliason. Into the lane to Brandt. Her shot gets blocked, but a foul called on Hajdukovic. I believe that's her second.
Yeah, good ball movement by Glenwood City here.
So the first free throw is on its way, and that one's no good. Kaylin Brandt at the line. Into the lineup for the Vikings is Sierra Shipman. Second shot, that one's short, and it'll be Viking ball. That one didn't draw iron. Long pass down, and that one's intercepted by Kruger. Kruger gets it over to Eliason. Over to Oman. Oman on the edge of the lane. Gets it back out high to Brandt. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Long feed down to Bovey. Bovey lays it up, puts it in.
You know, Rick, I should be keeping track of how many transition points that Vikings have got here tonight.
Now you say it.
Yeah, 19 points for Bovey.
Kruger with the ball. Gets it over to Bolts on the right side. Back to Kruger at the baseline. She lost it out of bounds, and it's going to be Viking ball.
Supposed to keep track of points in here.
Eliason comes out as McGee checks in for the Hilltoppers. Goodell feeds it down the floor. Bovey has it into the lane. Pass it down underneath. Nice play that time. Passing it to Shipman.
6 points for Sierra. Yeah, good ball movement by Colfax.
40-18, Vikings on top. Kruger with the ball. Takes it over to the right side. Reverses her direction. Gets it over to McGee. McGee back to the right. Her pass gets intercepted by Goodell. Goodell trying to take it all the way to the hole, and the ball got knocked out of bounds by the Hilltoppers. Bovey with the ball, inbounds it. They get it out to Goodell. Shots off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Hilltoppers. Oman on the right side. Gets it out to Davis. Back to Oman at the baseline. Back out to Davis. Davis with a three-pointer on the way. It's short. And it's taken down by Shipman. Feeds it ahead to Bovey. Bovey goes up. She puts it in and drew the foul. She got hit pretty hard going up that time. Ball still went in. I guess that's what happens when you got a hot hand.
21 points for Bovey.
And she's going to the line for one more. Foul, by the way, was on Kruger. It's her third. Bovey's shot is up, and it's no good. Coming up on 30 seconds remaining in the half. Davis has the ball on the right side. Feeds it out to Brandt. Down underneath. I checked that was McGee. Ullman with the hook shot, no good. She gets her own rebound, puts it back up, it's no good, and we're going to get a foul.
Could be on 34.
And the foul is going to be on Sikora. That's the seventh foul on the Vikings. That's her first foul on Sikora. Free throws up, and it's no good. For Tori Ullman, averaging about 10 points per game. Second shot is on the way. That one did not draw iron, so it's going to be Viking ball.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers are 1 for 6 from the line tonight.
Ball comes into Shipman, gets it over to Goodell. Goodell into the forecourt. About 10 seconds remaining. To Bovey, underneath the Sikora. Getting it back out, and the shot is up and in by Adeline Acker. And that's going to be the halftime score with the Vikings 44 and the Hilltoppers 18. And coming up, we will have Viking halftime with our Viking profile guest, Clara Hajdukovic. And that's going to be coming up right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
That craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Time now for Viking halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
All right, today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Clara Hajdukovic. And You're a junior here at Colfax?
Yep.
Okay. And we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Volleyball and track and field.
And what do you do in track and field?
I throw discus and shot put.
Very good. You're in the power sports.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I think I started playing around 3rd, 4th grade, something like that. It's been good. It's allowed me to connect with people in my class and other classes, so it's a good team sport.
Okay, great. What is the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Communication and attitude.
Okay, and both of those can really make the difference between a team that gets it together and a team that, you can't be a bunch of individuals out there. You got to be a team, right?
Yep.
Those are the two keys to it. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I read. I don't know. I read, and then I have other sports that I do during the basketball season.
Okay, all right. What are some of those?
Last year I played club volleyball, and I practiced disc and shot put year-round.
Okay, all right. All right, here, this is coming. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Probably a good pie.
A good pie. And what is your favorite kind of good pie?
Cherry or rhubarb.
Okay, and I noticed you said rhubarb and not strawberry rhubarb. And yeah, I'm with you on that. I like strawberry pie, I like rhubarb pie. Don't put them together. Just make it one or the other, right? Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you on that. Burger, brats, or hot dogs?
Probably a burger.
And what do you want on that burger?
Everything.
Put everything. Kitchen sink, everything.
Yep.
If you can put it on there, put it on. All right. Yep. Your favorite color and why?
Green. I don't know. I just like it.
All right. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that superpower might be and why?
Shape-shifting.
Ooh, interesting choice. Why would that be?
Because you can be anything.
Okay. All right. Now, if you had the superpower of shape-shifting, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Clara's superhero name?
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to be named by the people,
Okay. All right. And that might depend on what shape you chose to be at that time. All right. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Lynx.
Okay, very good. The Minnesota Lynx. How about a favorite collegiate team?
Texas Longhorns.
Okay. All right. And if you could sit down with a sports personality from any time in history and just pick their brain a little bit, who do you think that might be and why?
Caitlin Clark.
Okay. And is there a particular reason why you chose Caitlin?
I think she's kind of leading the sports in the modern world for women. So.
Okay. Very good. That's a pretty good reason. We're talking with Clara Hajdukovic on Viking Profile. And Clara, what are your plans for after high school?
Probably attend a 4-year college for something related to biology.
Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Just naming them.
That's up to you.
Hi to my sister and brothers.
Okay.
I guess.
Sure, that works. When people come to Viking games, where should they look for you on the floor?
In the post, probably.
Okay.
Box.
Somewhere down under the basket trying to make something happen down there.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. We want to thank Clara Hajdukovic for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
And welcome back to Glenwood City High School, where the Vikings have a 44-18 lead over the Hilltoppers as we're getting ready to start the second half. Dan, why don't you tell us how we got to those scores?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. They're led by number 52, Isabel Davis. She has 5 points. Annika Eliason has 3. We have Lily McGree with 2. Kayla Brandt has 2. Tori Oman has 4, and Opal Volts has 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 12, Jordan Brovey. She has 21 points, followed by Kason Goodell. She's got 6. Sierra Shipman's got 6. Prince Core has 7. Claire Hajdukovic has 2. 44-18, Colfax leads.
Okay, and pretty impressive performance by Jordan Bovey in the first half. Also pretty impressive performance by the Viking defense, forcing a lot of turnovers and then hitting the quick outlet and getting, as you were saying, those transition baskets.
Yeah, I bet at least half these points have come off transitions. Just good defense, good hands by Colfax, and there's always one girl that's getting out in transition. And lately it's been Bovey.
And in the junior varsity game earlier tonight, it was the Vikings over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 33-30. So now we're getting ready to start the second half, and the Vikings will have the ball. Sikora to inbound it for the Vikings. And she gets it into Goodell. Goodell across the timeline, takes it over to the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Sikora, puts it up. It's no good, but she drew the foul. I believe the foul is going to be on Kruger. It is.
That's 4 for her.
And quickly checking into the lineup is Kaylin Brandt for Kruger. Evidently that wasn't a shooting foul. Pass comes into Hajdukovic. To Goodell, over to Shipman, way down into the corner to Bovey, three-pointer on the way off the iron, no good. Rebound by Hajdukovic, she tries to go up with it, it's blocked. Vikings come away with it. Goodell on the dribble, feeds it out to Shipman, puts up a 3, she hit the 3!
Sierra Shipman with 9 points.
Davis has it. Gets it over to Volts, back to Davis, trying the right side, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And the foul is going to be on Davis for the Hilltoppers. That'll be the second foul on the Hilltoppers, second foul on Davis. Sikora into Goodell. Goodell on the dribble. Across the timeline, over to the right side. Now she comes back between the circles to Bovey, to Shipman, to Bovey, to Goodell, to Shipman. High, wide, and left. Then back out to Goodell. Over to Shipman. Shipman out to Sikora. Over to Goodell. Goodell drives the baseline, puts it up, overlays it. No good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. Her shot's up off the iron, no good. And rebound taken down by Davis for the Hilltoppers. Feeds it out to Brandt. Cross-court pass over to Oman. Oman stops at the free throw line, gets it out to Davis. Davis over to Brandt, back to Davis on the left. Davis tries to put it up from the side of the lane, no good. Rebound, outlet pass. Bovey lays it up and puts it in.
23 points for Bovey.
Hilltoppers get it down into the left corner. That's Brandt with it. Hands it off to Volts. Volts down to the baseline. Ball gets taken away by Bovey. Goodell has it, coming down the lane, lays it up. It won't go in. And coming away with it is Eliason, but it gets tipped away, and the Vikings have it. Goodell has it. Over to Shipman, puts up the three. She hit the three again!
Sierra with the hot hand right now. She has 12 points.
Volts has it. Gets it over to Oman. And then back out to Davis at the top of the key. To Brandt on the left side. Back to Davis on the give and go. And she laid it up and in.
Yeah, good play by the Hilltoppers.
That was a pretty classic give and go right there. Shipman turns around, puts it up and in.
Hilltoppers don't get back.
8 points this half for Sierra Shipman. Volts with it. Takes it down the left side, puts it up. Shot got blocked by Goodell, and it goes off of Volts out of bounds. Acker into the lineup for the Vikings. Also checking into the lineup for the Vikings is Raina Keltner. Pass comes in to Brandt. She's on the left side. Ball gets off the leg and then tied up by Acker. Possession arrow was in favor of the Hilltoppers. Ball comes in, gets tipped by Goodell. She brings it down the floor. Feeds it back out high to Sikora. Back to Goodell. Over to Acker. Cross-court pass over to Sikora, puts up the three, no. Rebound by Acker, and her pass gets taken out of her hands by Davis, and down the floor come the Hilltoppers. Eliason with a three-pointer, it's off the air, no good. Rebound hauled out of there by Goodell. Goodell feeds it down underneath, shot goes up and in by Bovey.
25 points for Bovey.
This is Volts with it. Gets it over to Davis on the right side. Free throw line extended right. Out to Brandt. Down in the corner to Volts. Then to Davis. Davis gets it out high to Eliason. Eliason over to Volts. Then to Oman. Now they get it back to Oman coming into the lane. We're going to get a foul called on Bovey. And checking into the lineup for the Hilltoppers is McGee and Flick. Flick inbounds it to Brandt. Brandt out to Davis, over to McGee. McGee with a three-pointer, it's off the iron, no good. Rebound chased down by Sikora. Sikora tries to feed it down underneath to Goodell, but it's intercepted. Shot goes up, no good. And the Vikings come away with it. Bovey on the dribble. Feeds it back to Sikora. Sikora into the lane, puts a shot up and in. About a 10-foot jumper by Bryn Sikora.
9 points for her.
58-20, Vikings on top. Flick with it, gets it over to Davis. Davis to Volts. Volts gets it over to McGee. McGee at the top of the key, over to Davis. Davis over to Flick. She feeds it in the lane to Brandt, who puts it up and in.
That good play by the Hilltoppers. 4 points for Brandt.
Sikora gets it to Bovey, back out to Sikora. Out to Keltner. Thought about the three, doesn't take it, gets it over to Sikora. to Acker. Acker over to Goodell. To Keltner. And to Bovey, she put it up, it went in, and she drew the foul. Foul's going to be on Volts. That's the third foul on the Hilltoppers, first foul on Volts. Free throw on the way, that's also good. Should be 28.
28 points for Bovey right now.
That equals her season high. Hilltoppers have it. Down to the corners, McGee. She gets it out to Davis. Davis over to Flick. Flick out to Brandt, then to Davis. Down to McGee in the left corner. Three-pointer on the way. It's off the air, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds off of Bovey. So Flick to inbound for the Hilltoppers. And the inbound pass gets stolen by Keltner. Feeds it over to Sikora, who gets it to Goodell. Goodell into the lane, feeds it back out to Keltner, then over to Bovey. Shot goes up by Acker, it's no good, and Davis comes away with it. 61-22. 11:13 remaining. Davis gets it out high to Flick. They get it down underneath. Flick tries to put up and in, but she's going to go up for two. We're going to get a foul on Bovey. That's the second foul on the Vikings, third foul on Bovey. And Flick is on the line. First shot is up. That's no good. Hajdukovic in for the Vikings. Kruger in for the Hilltoppers. Second shot by Flick. It's on the way, and it's good. 61-23. Goodell with the ball. Takes it down the right side, feeds it to Hajdukovic, but it went through her hands. So it'll be Hilltopper ball. Hajdukovic needs to increase the amount of stickum she's putting on those hands, I think.
Little pine tar.
Yeah. Kruger with the ball, gets it over to Davis between the circles, down into the corner. Driving in as McGee puts a shot up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Acker. Gets it over to Goodell. Goodell coming down the left side. Spins and comes back out again. Top of the key, over to Keltner. Keltner drives down the right side. Feeds it out to Acker, to Sikora, puts up the three, no. Rebound taken down by Davis. Davis on the dribble across the timeline. She brings it down the right side, loses control, goes out of bounds, but evidently off a Viking foot. I think it rolled off the foot of Hajdukovic. Checking in for the Vikings is Sophie Huziga. Giving Adeline Acker a break. Ball comes in to Omen. Feeds it underneath to Davis, turns around, tries to put it up, and we're going to get a foul called on Hajdukovic.
That was pretty good defense there by Hajdukovic. Must have got
I was going to say, I saw Dan roll his eyes on that one. It looked from here, but we don't have a real good view of it. We're a long ways away. Free throws up and off the iron. Second shot on the way, and that one did not draw iron. That's the third time that's happened tonight to the Hilltoppers.
The Hilltoppers are only 2 for 10 from the line tonight.
Ball comes in, Sikora feeds it down to Keltner, drives into the lane, puts a shot up, and won't go in. Rena Keltner looking for some points, and the Hilltoppers have it. Keltner steals the ball, hits it over to Goodell. Goodell at the top of the key, feeds it over to the left side. That's to Huziga, over to Keltner. And into the lane goes Goodell. She lays it up and in.
8 points for Goodell tonight.
40-point lead for the Vikings, 63-23. We're very close to a running clock situation. Hilltoppers with the ball at the top of the key. Moltoff with it. Ball gets knocked loose. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul being called on Goodell. That's the fourth foul on the Vikings, second foul on Goodell. Oman to inbound it for the Hilltoppers. And a little errant on the pass, long pass down the floor for the Vikings. Goodell can't quite get it to drop. Long pass by the Hilltoppers, but intercepted by Sikora of the Vikings. To Goodell, over to Huziga, takes it to the line. To Keltner, puts up the shot, no! Oman with the rebound. And down the floor comes Davis at the baseline. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Huziga, and away come the Vikings. Goodell with the ball. And we're going to get a blocking foul called on, I think it's on Kruger. It is, I believe that's number 5 on her.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And that's what the scoring table has. So what does she end up the night with?
She ends up with 0 points.
Well, it's a nice round number.
Yeah, she played tough defense tonight for the Hilltoppers. She had a hard job down there.
She did. She's averaging only 2.5 points a game. Keltner with it, puts it up, overlays it, no good. And Davis coming away with it. Feeds it over to Eliason, three-pointer comes up short. Huziga feeds it over to Goodell. Long pass, just led Keltner by a little bit too much. She couldn't quite catch up to it. Eliason brings it down the floor. Shot goes up, it's no good. Foul's gonna be on Goodell. That's her third, 15th foul on the Vikings. And it's sending Eliason to the line for 2. First shot is up, it's good. Into the lineup is Wiedner. And Acker comes back in. Second shot is good. So the only starter out on the floor for the Vikings right now is Bovey. Pass gets intercepted by the Hilltoppers. Davis has it. She's across the timeline. Brings it over to the right side. Feeds it cross court to the left side to Eliason. Drives down into the corner, tries the baseline, puts it up, and it rolls in. 63-27.
First 2 points for Flick.
Wiedner with it, tries to feed it down underneath. That was to Huziga, but it got knocked out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Ball comes in to Acker. Over to Bovey, but it got tipped away. Bovey chases it down. She feeds it over to Acker on the left side. To the free throw line, Sikora puts it up, no good. And we're going to get a whistle and a travel call on the Hilltoppers. I think she took a little extra hop trying to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, she had a little stutter there on her pass, and that was enough to create a travel.
Huziga gets it into Sikora. Puts it to the floor. Now feeds it back out high to Bovey. Bovey into the lane, puts a shot up. It's no good. She gets her own rebound out to Sikora. Puts up the shot. She hit the three. Bryn Sikora with a three-pointer. 66-27.
Yeah, 12 points for her.
Davis with it. She gets it over to Flick. Flick out to Oman, but she can't get the handle on it, and it'll be Viking ball. Sikora inbound. Long pass. Down underneath. Shot goes up, and it goes in by Alexa Wiedner.
Alexa's got her first 2 points.
I think those are her first 2 points of the season, I think. Nope, she has a field goal earlier this year as well. Eliason gets it out to Oman. Now on the right side to Davis. Tries to feed it into the lane, got tipped, and saving it off the legs of the Vikings was Oman. Bovey and Sikora come out. Hajdukovic and Keltner are in. Ball comes in, gets tipped away by Keltner. She takes it down the floor, puts it up, and she got fouled by Eliason as she was trying to lay it up. Raina Keltner looking for her first points of the season. And she'll be shooting 2. First one's on the way, and that's good. So Raina Keltner is in the statistics book. By the way, that was the second foul on Eliason, 5th foul on the Hilltoppers. Checking in is Lily McGee for Kyra Flick. Second shot now by Keltner. It's on the way, and it's good. 70-27, Vikings on top. This is Moltoff with the ball. Feeds it out to Eliason. On the right side to Davis at the top of the key. Davis over to Oman, back to Davis. And we get a whistle, and there's going to be a foul on Hajdukovic, I believe. It is.
4th.
And the 6th foul on the Vikings. So after the Hilltoppers inbound this, they'll be in the bonus from here on out. 2:14 to go. Shot goes up by Oman, rattles around and goes in.
Oman's got 6 points.
Keltner with it. Feeds it down the floor to Wiedner. Back out to Keltner, but it went off her legs, picked up by Oman. She's all alone, takes it, puts it up, and it won't go down for her. Rebound being battled for, and coming away with it are the Hilltoppers. Moltoff with it. Pass comes out high to McGee. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound, putback shot by Eliason is no good. Another putback, that one by Oman is good. 70-31. Keltner with it. And she got taken out that time by the legs. And she's going to be kind of slow getting up.
That's the second time tonight that she's taken a hard one.
We'll take a quick time out here as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
And we're back here at Glenwood City High School. Vikings with a 70-31 lead Raina Keltner got up and walked across the floor under her own power. She just took a hard fall to the floor. Should be a little sore tomorrow. Bovey with the ball. Feeds it out high, three-pointer on the way, no good. Put back up is no good. The putback was by Acker.
It'll stay with Colfax.
And a jump ball on the rebound. So inbounding the ball is Husaga. They get it out high to Bovey.
They're going to run a little clock right now.
Bovey to Wiedner.
35 seconds left.
To Hajdukovic. Out to Bovey. Over to Wiedner. To Hajdukovic. To Bovey. 20 seconds remaining. To Husaga. Ball gets tipped away. Hilltoppers coming back down the floor. Flick with it. Feeds it down to Eliasson. Then out to Moltov. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Ball goes out of bounds. And with the running clock, and they're going to stop the clock to get a player in with 2.2 seconds remaining. Coming in was Morgan Knops. And ball comes in, and there's the horn. So the final score tonight, Vikings 70, Hilltoppers 31. Vikings improve their record to 3-1 in the Dun St. Croix. Hilltoppers fall to 0-4. We'll have more about tonight's game coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
The teen years are a great time for your child to gain practical experience in managing finances. Perhaps he or she already has a summer job lined up. A free checking account at Dairy State Bank can help teens learn to set a budget, track spending, use a debit card, make deposits, and more. Plus, parents are account co-owners and have the ability to supervise the learning process. Give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
And welcome back to Glenwood City High School. Vikings come out on top in this one by a score of 70-31 over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. As we said, the Vikings record in the Dun St. Croix Conference improves to 3-1, and the Hilltoppers drop to 0-4. Dan, I saw some interesting things by the Hilltoppers. They were trying to do some things, but they just had a difficult time shooting tonight.
Yeah, you know, they were getting inside in that first, 5-6 minutes of the game, and they got some easy shots, and then Colfax shut down that interior, and then it was all Colfax defense.
Well, Dan, 70-31. Why don't you tell us how we got there?
Yeah, here's scores tonight for the Hilltoppers. They're led by number 52, Isabel. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Tori Oman. She had 8 points. Isabel had 7. We had Annika Eliasson with 5. We had Kier Flick with 2. We had Lily McGee with 2. We had Kayla Brandt with 2. And Opal Volts with 2. For the Vikings, they're led tonight by number 12, Jordan Bovey. She had 28 points. And then we had Kason Goodell with 8. We had Raina Keltner with 2. We had Bryn Sikora with 12. We had Sierra Shipman with 14. We had Alexa Wiedner with 2. And Claire Hajdukovic ended up with 2. So 70 to 31.
I was going to just say that. That all adds up to 70 to 31, and the Vikings come out on top. We're waiting for Coach Sikora to come out. Coach.
Yeah, it could be Coach Sikora tonight. Bryn could come up too.
Yeah, we'll let Bryn come up here. Coach Serraro will be coming out in just a little bit, as we'll be talking to her about tonight's game, and we'll do that after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School girls basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our next Viking girls game will be on Monday, January 13th, when the Vikings travel to McDonell Central High School in Chippewa Falls to take on the McDonell Central Max. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on Thursday, January 13th on NLWN-TV.
NLWN2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Friday, January 10th, when the Vikings play host to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Friday, January 10th on NLWN2.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
And we're back here at Spring Valley High School. No, we're not. We're at Glenwood City High School. And Coach Serrar has joined us here. And congratulations on the win tonight. Big win for the Vikings.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. You know, we really shared the ball tonight. I'm anxious to find out how many assists we had because I know it was a lot. I was really impressed with our ability to make good decisions in transition and really share the ball.
Yeah, we were going to mention that the number of points scored off of transitions, you guys have grabbed the rebound, and you look like Jordan Love hitting a wide receiver for a touchdown quite a few times down there. And, you know, lo and behold, they were open and they put the ball in.
Yeah, we did a really great job, you know, like you said, scoring in transition and, you know, taking advantage of the, you know, 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s that we had.
And Isabel Davis didn't really hurt you too bad. The girls played really tough defense on her. You could see she was getting pretty frustrated under the basket because she couldn't do anything without a hand in her face.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we play great defense. We're going to make everything tough. You know, they were able to get some second chance points, which I was kind of disappointed with. But overall, I thought we played a really great game.
Okay, so there's one that makes you 3-1 in the conference, so you're staying right in the thick of the conference race, and you step out of the conference on Monday for a really tough one over in Chippewa Falls against the McDonell Central Max. What are we expecting there?
Yeah, you know, again, I try to take it one game at a time, so we haven't looked too much at McDonell yet. But, you know, they're a good team. They're, you know, historically good, you know, under new leadership this year. So I think just, you know, a lot of, you know, they lost a lot of good seniors last year. So I think they have a lot of good younger kids who are looking for, you know, their chance to prove themselves. And we'll definitely have to bring our best basketball, and I think it should be an exciting matchup.
I was looking at rosters, and they're one of those rosters that's a little different. They're all sophomores and seniors. There's no juniors or freshmen on the roster at all. But they are also sitting on top of the West Clover Belt with a 4-0 record, so you know that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. They have some good wins, so we'll have to come ready to play.
And you've said many times, if you want to be a really tough team, you got to play the really tough opponents.
Yep, that's why we play the schedule that we do. You know, we're well tested. We've definitely gone to battle in almost every single game that we've played so far this year, and we've only played 9 games. So, you know, I'm anxious to, you know, get back out on the court and see what they can do.
And I'll tell you what, we're seeing a lot of the girls coming out of the locker room now as they're getting ready to get on that big yellow bus and head back to Colfax, but there are an awful lot of smiles on their faces. That's always a sign of a good night.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us, Coach, and we will be back with more Viking postgame right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
And we're back here at Glenwood City getting ready to wrap things up tonight as the Vikings come away 70-31 victors over the Hilltoppers. Dan, your thoughts?
Colfax defense. That's all they play every game, and they're scrappy, and they can get down, get in offensive transition, can put up points, and every team has to be ready for that.
Yep, and they better be ready on Monday because you make sure to join us right here on NLWN-TV on Monday. That's January 13th. Wow, we're almost halfway through January already as we're going to bring you Colfax Viking girls basketball. The Vikings will travel over to Chippewa Falls for a non-conference matchup with the McDonald Central Max. Coverage begins on NLWN-TV with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play. Then don't forget to join us tomorrow night on NLWN2 as we bring you Colfax Viking boys basketball. The Vikings will play host to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. That is a Dunn St. Croix Conference contest, and the coverage is going to begin on NLWN2 with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play. A shout out to the Bloomer Colfax wrestling team as they're traveling over to Cadott for a meet on Saturday. If you're a wrestling fan, head over to Cadott. Action gets underway at 10 a.m. Also note that the FFA halftime conference will be held tomorrow and Saturday, and the Dorian Music Festival will be Sunday through Tuesday. Now, tonight's Colfax High School basketball game has been brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultant, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors by giving them some of your business and reminding them that you appreciate the fact that they bring you Colfax Viking basketball on NLWN-TV. So for Chris Olson on the camera and Dan Petchow doing all the numbers and all the expert commentary, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, Vikings 70, Glenwood City Hilltoppers 31. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame. A wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.